in African Reaction. Today we're going to be reacting to Defense Politics Asia and another one of his videos. Let's go.
Defense Politics Asia and quick update over at the situation at the Velika Novosibirsk sector, where the Ukrainians' main push in their Ukrainian offensive currently is ongoing, which I also like to call it the super duper uber offensive because it just sounds more cooler. So anyway, the Ukrainians over the past 2 days has been attacking the same, more or less the same location, except that they have started a new direction that we have speculated to happen, which is at Novodonetsk. So the Ukrainians have launched the attack at Novodonetsk in this area here, and they also push all the way south. Apparently the lines there is a bit thin, and they managed to break through all the way, and they are trying to attack Oktyabrsk. And there is also another push towards Uruzane in this direction, and this comes along with the attack at Nekushny on the western part of Nekushny. Over here they are also attacking this area. I forgot the name. Let me see. This Rivnovpil. They also attack, as usual, Novodarivka. They attack Levatny. They attack from Olhelsky towards Stepove, and also towards Priotny. And this is, as per I previously mentioned, that is a probable attempt to do a pincer around the Ukrainian the Russian forces that is holding this line here, particularly down along the river and over at Priotny. So it is an attempt to capture Staromlinivka. This is actually the prime target. They are probably going to attack and then swing and capture this vital crossing. There's another crossing actually south of Uruzane. This is another crossing. So these are the crossings that the Ukrainians would want to secure so that they can link up with the forces that is coming over here from Priotny. However, the Ukrainian forces kind of did not manage to break through Priotny region, Levatny region. Apparently, the Russian defenses here held, and similarly, they did not even manage to reach Uruzane, and in fact the entire front line remains to be secure around this region here. So Oktyabrsk also managed to hold. The Russian forces actually counterattacked and recaptured Novodonetsk. The same problem here for the Ukrainians, as the Russians recaptured Nekushny, and they also recaptured Novodarivka with the counter-offensive of the Russian forces managed to override the Ukrainian push. And on the other parts, the Ukrainians did not even break through. So that's kind of disappointing for the Ukrainian side, as the Russian lines managed to hold. The situation at Priotny is a bit weird. I'm not sure what does it look like. So we are still waiting for more information on how the front line actually looks like, because fighting near Priotny might not be actually this deep. Maybe it's a bit more shallow, and as far as I can understand, the Ukrainians are still trying their best to to attack Novodonetsk, and they actually tried again doing a movement from the north and the west of Novodonetsk, but they have not worked out just yet. There is still a significant Ukrainian force. This is where they form up as the forward operating base at Velika Novosibirsk, and it's also mentioned that they actually sent a reinforcement from this direction to the front lines, and we are probably going to see this area getting bombarded by the Russians likely pretty soon. And but the plan is actually pretty good. The problem is breaking through the lines, and if the Ukrainians, I believe, if they can continue to put on this same level of pressure for a week, I believe the Russian line is going to break, because I don't think the Russians have the tenacity to hold the lines, given the kind of records that the Russians do have in a previous Kherson offensive, or or this Kharkiv Balaklia offensive. Although we have to be realistic that during those offensive the Russians are undermanned. Currently the Russians have more troops on the line. But if the Russians do not pull in reserves to reinforce the lines, then we might actually see problems on the Russian lines trying to hold, because no matter how good the forces or how good the defenses on the Russian lines is, given enough time of grinding, they will break. So reinforcement for the Russian side is also very important. So it is important to take a look out for Russian reinforcements. But as far as I can understand, there is still a lot of Ukrainian reserve in the rear positions that they can actually pull in to reinforce the Ukrainian offensive. And I believe the Ukrainian offensive in this sector will likely to continue. One big reason is because they have invested way too much into this front line to give it up. According to the Russian Defense Ministry, they claim that the Ukrainians lost up to 3,000 troops in these 3 days of fighting around this region here, and lost a lot of tanks and IFVs. Although their own numbers for their losses is ridiculously low, which I don't think is the case. I think easily at least they lost half of what the Ukrainians lost, which could at least be 1,500 over troops on the Russian side being lost in this this attack by the Ukrainians. So anyway, this is just a quick update over the situation at the Velika Novosibirsk sector, where the main push of the Ukrainian offensive is currently ongoing.
So basically, like DPA saying, is basically the same thing from the other channel previously. I believe the Russians are holding the line, but like he said, if they don't pull in reserve, the line might break. And I guess one thing that is quite understood, that the casualties are mounting. So in 3 days of 4,500 men have died, which is a lot. Anyway, this was an African reaction. I hope you enjoyed this. Bye.